Sound carries a lot of ways of making meaning, maybe serves to form a narrative of some sort, settling into a space of receiving. Location of the sounds and the ways that they move also carry meaning. Residual noise, the term comes from analog tape. When you record something, you get the thing that you recorded, you get the things that you didn't notice while you were recording, and then you get artifacts of the recording. As part of the opening of the Lindemann Center, there was an invitation to propose projects as part of their BAI Ignite series of events. Having residual noise be included in the local Providence community is a great place for a lot of different kinds of sonic practice to happen. And I also wanted to have a conference component.
My piece for Residual Noise called Correspondence is English translation of the title of a Charles Baudelaire poem called Correspondance. My wife Catherine was reading the poem. It probes the connection of the senses. It's about the act of writing too. So you hear lots of sounds of writing, paper. It really felt like I was inside of the piece. You actually literally have to move the entire back wall of the theater forward across the space to turn it into a cube. It's a beautifully acoustically engineered space with this ambisonic system in it. What's wonderful about students here, Brown, is that they're always like pushing the envelope. There's always this amazing thing that can happen if you just say, well, of course, like, why can't we do that? If you can facilitate that in some way, amazing things happen.
Being able to conduct research around sound and not necessarily just musical form is something that these kinds of concert spaces, they lend themselves to really bringing our experience of sound down to like a sort of a micro level. To use performance practices, I've been calling them sonic intervention into working with archival materials, interested in how sound shapes identities and subjectivities. That piece was called A Place Where Many People Gather, and the title comes from my research in the Korean folk music tradition of pansori. Cheers. The idea of gathering in a courtyard, passing culture and knowledge and history through song.
Putting this together, I wanted to have events both here at Brown and then also at RISD.
At Rhode Island School of Design, Studio for Research in Sound and Technology. The primary techniques that we use in the space is called high-order ambisonics. One of the key things about residual noise is the social aspect of listening together. We debuted a new speaker system called an Eco from a company called Sonable in Austria, and we have the first one of these in North America. Essentially a ball of 20 speakers facing outwards towards the audience, a technique called beamforming. Feels like sound is coming from, behind you, above you, below you. You're not trying to give everybody the exact same experience. You're actually trying to create a sound field that has variety within it. And so if you were to get up and move around, you would actually experience that chain. So seating is optional, right?
I made two separate pieces for Residual Noise. The first at RISD, a binaural recording of me giving myself a haircut, set to footage of me receiving a haircut. You're never gonna repeat the exact same thing at any given point. It's me giving myself a haircut, the video of me receiving a haircut, and then in theory, everyone's kind of getting a haircut. At Brown, it was called a lecture performance, but I actually didn't speak at all. I wrote an essay, and I had slides from the essay. It was about the experience from the so-called ghetto riots in the 1960s, cars driving through areas in a post-riot condition. Do something that was site-specific for this lecture space and not deliver a traditional lecture. Reprocess silence into something that becomes audible, that becomes spatial for people to have their own experience.
Sound art can be sculptural, site-specific, dealing with sound as a central material. You can hear the sound sort of layering and going up vertically, and it lives in these in-between spaces. With residual noise, provide some sort of framework for it, kind of pointing towards an experience of inhabiting that space for just a bit, so that in the future, build on it.